Wednesday through Sunday from noon to 6, and invite you down to see this exhibition, which will be up through the end of April. We explored in this show what is an emerging new type, I think, in the history of the skyscraper. It's a type that I like to call the super slender ultra luxury tower. And of these, the one that is going to be the tallest in at least in the near future, because it's under construction now, as you'll see, but one that rises, as you see in the particular slide here, above in a commanding surroundings of Midtown Manhattan, is joined together with a number of other towers that are principally located along 57th Street and in the area of Park Avenue, but the southern end of Central Park, but also in Lower Manhattan and in Hudson Yards on the west side. But there are the particular geographies of these super slender towers, which is the key characteristic of this new building form. And as you'll see in Rafael's lecture tonight, it's slenderness rather than height that characterizes this tower, and which is the development strategy for these buildings. And if you come to the exhibition and you read through, or you look on our website and you read through all of the explanations, the idea of the logic of luxury, of repaying back not so much a risk investment, but a high-end return investment is the impulse and the business plan behind these buildings, and that's what is explored in the context of the recent condominium craze that we're witnessing here in New York. So I invite you to come to the exhibition, and I preview this lecture tonight with the idea that we're exploring something which really is a unique New York evolution, a new building form with extreme slenderness, with exclusivity, with a 1 and 2 unit per floor strategy for development that really characterizes something that's happening in New York and in nowhere else in the world right now, and perhaps can be built nowhere else in the world. So in the context of all of the public relations and the press coverage about these towers, which have been creating quite a bit of flurry, for example, at the Community Board 5 meeting just last week that you might have read about, I hope that we can appreciate that these buildings really do represent what will be a 21st century type as we look 100 years or 50 years back at this forum. And I hope that this series of lectures will begin to really record the logic that creates this particular design form. Now, there are quite a few people that I should be thanking for this evening, and I know that at the end of his presentation on 432 Park Avenue, Rafael will show the whole team credits, but I wanted to mention in particular the architects of record for the project, Slice, and also the structural engineers, WSP Group and WSP Cantor-Sanic, who were so helpful in explaining this logic of luxury to me as I curated the exhibition. We're also very happy to be able to mention our sponsors for this evening, Enclose, who has been involved in a curtain wall consultant and in the design of this building, and in actually many other projects. So leaving this spectrum of work that you can see here, I wanted to mention that in our next lecture by the team that put together 111 West 57th Street, where the Shop team, the architectural firm Shop, has created a panel program in order to discuss the design and development. That will be on March 11th, and then we'll have probably another one on the downtown projects that will follow that. So I certainly encourage you to come back and to become members of the museum, those of you who are learning about us only for the first time tonight. So I invited Rafael to give this talk after I saw him. I saw him at MAS event, and he was showing me his tower in the context of Midtown Manhattan, in someone else's context model, and there it was rising above all of the others, really dominating in it, not just its form, its its height, but in general in its form and the openness and the panorama of the views that you can see that it will have, but also in the integrity of the structural concept and the architectural concept. And I found it, one always wants to give a little bit of the glorious background of each of the kind speakers who offer their expertise to us. And so reading a little bit from Rafael's own biography, so that those of you who aren't that familiar with his work, although I'm sure that's the reason that you're here tonight, I'll give you some of the background, as he will in his own talk, to put this skyscraper in the context of about 30 or even more years of work of attention that includes the high-rise, but many other building types. So Rafael's 45 years of architectural practice in the United States, Latin America, Europe, and Asia have been consistently driven by a belief that the essential responsibility of architecture is to generate the most elegant solution within the economy of each project. That's a statement that's at the beginning of his biography, and so I think we can appreciate how important it is to him and how clear the expression of those principles are in the building that he's going to be elaborating tonight. Rafael was born in Uruguay in 1944. He put that in his own bio, so it's fair to say, but I think it's astonishing how long his career in duration and in stature has been. He was a founding partner of Estudio de Arquitectura, which would become one of the largest design studios in Latin America. After practicing in Argentina in 1978, he moved to the US, and after a year at the GSD teaching, he settled in New York in 1979. In 1983, he founded Rafael Viñoly Architects, a New York-based firm that has grown to encompass offices in London and in Abu Dhabi, and which works on projects around the world. In 1989, he won an international competition to design the Tokyo International Forum, the largest and most important cultural complex in Japan. And along with the Kimmel Center of Performing Arts in Philadelphia in 2001, these competitions prompted other civic commissions around the world, but we also think here in New York of at Jazz at Lincoln Center, and in Boston, the David Lawrence Convention Center in Boston. There are so many of his projects that have extremely long names with brokers, with donors, that I'm not going to mention all of them, except to say that the firm has been developing more than 400 design projects around the world, including the New York University campus of Abu Dhabi, where his client, one of our board members, Hilary Ballin, has been his chief client. And like a couple of other clients I know of Rafael's, they can't stop raving about how exciting it is to work with him. The Cleveland Museum of Art, I'm from Cleveland, so I have to mention that one. The International Research Institute for Climate Prediction at Princeton University, the Bronx County Hall of Justice, as well as skyscrapers across his career, which we'll see briefly in context and then focus on 432 Park Avenue, and I hope a little bit too of a new project which has barely been let out of the bag in terms of renderings right downtown here, another super slender tower, 22 Thames Street. In addition to his many successes and competitions, his work has been recognized by numerous awards and excellence. He is a fellow of the American Institute of Architects in 1993, and a member of the Japan Institute of Architects in 2006. He was named an international fellow of the RIBA. And so with all of those credentials, and with my own personal appreciation for all of the energy and passion and enthusiasm that he always brings to any discussion of architecture, I want to introduce Rafael. And as there are some people still coming in, I'll mention that after his talk, which is about 45 or 50 minutes, there will be a question and answer period that's moderated and a commentary by Kathleen McGuigan, who's the editor-in-chief of the Architectural Record. So we hope we'll have some time for your questions after. Thank you.